When you work maintenance in a desert town of 400 people, you start to think you've seen it all. Snakes in transformers, sand clogging relay boxes, drunks throwing bottles at the power lines. But nothing prepared me for the lights. Every night at 11:57 p.m., the power in Ridgewell starts failing. Not all at once, just one block at a time. It's always the same order. Main Street, then the plaza, then the old gas station. By 12:03, there's only one working bulb left, the street lamp on Hillcrest and 9th. The locals told me it's been that way for years. They also told me no one goes outside when it happens because the last person who tried didn't come back. I thought it was superstition. I'm a lineman, not a ghost hunter. So when the supervisor told me to prove it's just faulty wiring, I packed my tools, drove out there, and waited under the orange glow of the Hillcrest light. At 11:56, the town was silent. Too silent. Not a single car, not a bark, not even a cricket. Then it began. The light over the diner flickered and died. Then the one outside the post office. Then another, and another, each going out with a faint click, like a circuit breaker tripping somewhere deep underground. I started walking toward the next light, jotting down notes. But as I stepped closer to the darkness, I heard it, footsteps. Slow, dragging, deliberate. I spun around. Nothing. Just the edge of the glow behind me, thinning as the next bulb died. The blackout moved closer, block by block. My radio hissed, static chewing through the signal. Control. This is Evan. I'm on Hillcrest, and I think, click. Another light gone. The sound came again. Closer. Heavy, wet steps on asphalt. I backed toward the remaining pool of light, heart hammering. When I looked past the glow, I saw shapes in the dark, dozens of them, human-sized but wrong somehow. They weren't standing still. They were swaying like reeds under a current I couldn't feel. Every instinct screamed at me to run, but I couldn't. I needed to know what was happening. I traced the power lines with my flashlight. Everything looked fine. No shorts, no crossovers. The grid wasn't failing. It was shutting itself down. That's when I realized the sequence wasn't random. It was controlled, like a system designed to contain something. Something the light kept away. The final bulb above me buzzed violently. I could hear whispering now. Faint voices from the dark, echoing names I didn't recognize. Some sounded like crying. Some like laughing. Then a thought hit me. Maybe if I reset the grid, it would stop. I ran to the junction box beside the pole, yanked it open, and flipped the main breaker. Click! The light went out. For a second there was silence. Then movement, a rush of air like 1,000 wings. Something brushed against me, cold and heavy. I dropped my tools and ran, blind, but I didn't make it far. They found me the next morning, or at least what was left of me. The entire town was empty. Every house, every street, every soul. Just me, standing beneath the last streetlight, frozen mid-scream. They said my eyes were still glowing, and every night since, at exactly 11:57 p.m., the lights go out again, one by one. They call me Nina on the Nightline, your friendly midnight companion for the sleepless and the strange. My show runs from midnight to 4 a.m., and the callers are usually harmless. Conspiracy nuts, lonely truckers, the occasional prank. But 3 nights ago, I got an email that changed everything. Tune to 108.7 at exactly 3 a.m. You'll hear the truth. No name, no signature, just that. I read it live on air, chuckled, and moved on. You'd be surprised how many weirdos write stuff like that. But curiosity, that's my poison. So that night, when the clock hit 2:59, I decided to do it. "All right, listeners," I said, tapping the console. "We're tuning in to 108.7, the so-called truth frequency." The music faded. Silence. Then a low hiss, like someone breathing directly into the mic through static. It wasn't feedback. I know feedback. This sounded alive. "Do you hear that?" I asked, laughing nervously. "Sounds like..." Then a deep voice came through. Gravelly, rhythmic, calm. "Good evening, Nina." I froze. My hand hovered over the mute button. "Okay, funny prank. Who is this?" "You're wearing the red jacket tonight. The one with the torn sleeve." I looked down. He was right. "And the exit sign behind you. Flickers every 7 seconds." I turned. The sign blinked. Once, twice, pause, exactly as he said. My heart hammered in my throat. I pulled off my headphones. But the static didn't stop. It echoed from every speaker in the room. The phone lines started blowing up. Listeners saying they could hear different voices on their radios. Some crying, some whispering numbers. One claimed a woman kept repeating, "We're still up here." I cut the feed. Dead air for the first time in my career. But that wasn't the end. The next night, the signal returned at 3 a.m. sharp. I didn't tune to 108.7. It forced itself onto my frequency. The static breathing filled the studio again. "Come outside, Nina. Look up." My producer banged on the glass, mouthing, "Don't engage." But the control board lights were flashing in sync with the sound. Even the on-air sign pulsed red, like it was responding. "Come outside and see us," the voice said. "You've been talking to the dark for years. Let it finally answer back." And then I saw it through the window. Hundreds of faint red dots in the sky, pulsing in perfect rhythm with the static. I didn't remember standing up or walking out. But I must have, because the last thing I recall is stepping into the parking lot. Headset still on, whispering, "I see them." The signal responded. "Now you speak." They found the studio empty an hour later. My mic still on, my chair still spinning. When my producer replayed the recording, there was no static, no other voice, just one person speaking. Me. "Good evening, listeners. This is Nina on the Nightline, and tonight I bring you the truth from above. But here's the thing. I don't remember saying that. And every night since, the red lights return at 3 a.m. They pulse, they breathe. And somewhere out there, my voice still answers back. I bought the cabin for silence. No traffic, no sirens, no neighbors yelling through paper walls, just whine through pines and the low hum of nature after 15 years in the city. That quiet felt like a luxury. But on my first night here, silence turned on me. I woke up to a click, that soft electronic noise a cheap digital clock makes when the minute changes. My eyes went to the display. 2:13 a.m. I yawned, rolled over, and shut my eyes. When I looked again, it was still 2:13. The column blinked, mocking me. I stared for a while, thinking maybe I'd lost track. But the longer I watched, the more wrong it felt. No rustle of trees, no crickets, no wind. Just me and the faint electric buzz of that stupid clock. I grabbed my phone. The screen said 2:13 a.m. The battery was at 78%. I set a timer for 1 minute and waited. It never ended. I sat there, heart hammering in my chest, until I realized I hadn't blinked in what felt like forever. The moon outside hadn't moved. The shadows on the floor hadn't shifted. Time was stuck. I went outside. The forest was drenched in blue light, frozen beneath the motionless moon. Every leaf hung still, like the world was holding its breath. Then I saw them. Cabins scattered deeper in the woods, places I hadn't noticed before. The nearest one had a porch light on. I walked closer, crunching gravel that didn't echo. Inside, a woman sat at her table, coffee cup mid-air, eyes open but unseeing. Steam curled above her mug but never drifted. Her lips were parted mid-sigh. She was alive, I think breathing, but barely. I whispered, "Hello?" She didn't move. The others were the same, frozen between moments. I drove toward town, or tried to. The headlights painted the same bend in the road again and again. No matter how far I went, the truck circled back to my porch. That's when I heard it, a whisper, faint at first. 2:13. 2:13. It came from the trees, from the still air, from the radio, though it wasn't on. 2:13. I ran back inside, slammed the door, and pressed myself against it. My breath fogged the glass. And then, out there in the moonlight, I saw movement. Something was walking between the trees. Slow, deliberate, not frozen. Its head twitched as it looked at my cabin, limbs jerking like it didn't fully understand how to move. And when it stepped closer, I saw its face, my face. Same stubble, same eyes, but hollow. It whispered through the glass, voice warping with static. "You shouldn't be here, Derek." I stumbled back. "What are you?" "You," the moment before. That's when I remembered. The crash, the winding mountain road, the flash of headlights in the fog, the sound of my heartbeat slowing. I died at 2:13 a.m. This version of me never crossed over, a fragment of a dying second, trapped in the last breath before oblivion. The other thing, my reflection pressed its hand against the window. It's time to end the second. When it smiled, the clock on my nightstand finally blinked, 2:14 a.m., and everything went dark. Thanks for listening. Now close your eyes and sleep.